All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.
What's up, everybody? Eagles dismantle the Raiders 31-0. We're going to break it all down, get a nice victory post-game recap here.
Finally.
Yeah, I know. Matt, how are we doing? We enjoying. I know you're not feeling. You're a little under the weather, so that's why you got
I'm a little under the weather. Yeah.
The under the weather hoodie on. But
this is my sick hoodie. Yeah,
your hoodie. But the Birds get big time W. You know, they need to. Like, to me, it's like I understand they played the Raiders, but the way that I feel about it is this: you play a team like that, you need to annihilate them, and that's exactly what they did. They held them to 75 total yards, the lowest total yardage output they held the team to since 1955. Like when you play teams like this is what you need to do to them. And it's exactly what they did. And, everyone, all the media and everybody, I posted, all the media got their wish. Tanner McKee came in the game, but it was because it was 31-0. There was nothing else to prove, and you don't want to have any injury. So, it was a lot of positives going into the game, watching the game, and after the game. A lot of positives for the Eagles, and it's great to see.
I agree. And I think the offense, despite the struggles in the interior running game at times, I felt like the offense was clicking, and I felt like technically I think it was Jalen's most efficient game, even more so than his perfect game. And so it was good to see him bounce back, especially after 4 turnovers. And we talked about it on the pod last week. We weren't as concerned about the turnovers because it was him being aggressive. At least 2 of those were fluky, or 3 of those, I guess. And we saw encouraging signs about sequencing and route concepts and the way that Jalen was spreading the ball around. So it was nice to see that carried over, right? Like we were optimistic about this. We were optimistic about the Giants game, and then we laid a goose egg. So like, it was nice to see carry over from some positive into a win. And yes, it's the Raiders, but they get paid too. I mean, they lost to the number 1 seed New England Patriots by 7 points. They took the Bears, to a 1-point game. They got blown out by the Chiefs, ironically 31-0. They took the Jaguars, who are very much in the hunt. They lost to them by 1 point. A 3-point game loss to the Denver Broncos. I mean, they've had some really competitive games, and I know. And the other Broncos game that they had, they lost by 7. So, like, they were playing teams pretty tough. And it wouldn't have surprised me if they came out and gave us some problems because of the way that they had played in the past. But it was nice to see us put our foot on their throat and finish. I was really surprised to see Goddard be the focal point of the offense. But at the same time,
nice to see though him get involved in everything, and I like the wrinkles. Like I feel like the last 2 weeks we're starting to see them kind of shift and starting to figure out and do some things that are working and keep 30 snaps under center, which is the most that they've had, I believe, in the Nick Sirianni era. Yeah. So they're using that under center play action game like they should. Like we've said that they're using the empty formation. They're using Cam Latu in there. Like they're doing some different things. I like some of the plays for Goddard, the shovel pass, the pop pass, like all that stuff I like a lot. And of course, even the play where Goddard didn't catch it, I thought was perfect, wide open. It happens. But I just feel like they are getting into rhythm. Jalen scrambling, doing some different things with his legs, keeping it, open. You're going to be getting healthier offensively with Lane Johnson coming back. So you have that, which is a good thing.
Yeah. And then you have Fred as your 6 instead of your 5th.
As your heavy tight end set or a heavy lineman set, and you have Fred
which was
coming
in. That was really working for us at one point. Mm-hmm. So it'll be exciting to get that back for sure.
But I think you can build off of what they did. Like, again, I understand who they were playing. Now, if you had watched the beginning of the game, they did mention how the Raiders were, I believe they were around seventh in the league and giving up big plays. So, they weren't giving up many big plays. And defensively, they weren't atrocious. Now, offensively, they were challenged and pretty bad and pretty predictable. But defensively, they were able to somewhat hold their own. And I guess that's the reason why a lot of those games were relatively close in what I mentioned earlier. But the Eagles were able to pick them apart and do that. And then, of course, the defensive side of the ball, they were just absolutely
smothering,
not letting anything happen. They had one play here. Basically, their first drive was almost all their offense, essentially.
Yeah.
And then it stopped on a fourth down. They tipped the pass. But it's just, I don't know, like the way I see it, and I know some people have made some, like, compared the two, but I think the way this defense is playing, like, it would not be surprised if this defense finished, if not almost as good as the 2024 defense, because this defense is at a level right now. Nakobe Dean is playing at probably better than he played last year. Just what he's doing. Yes, he had that one play. You and I were texting. He had that one play against San Diego. Oof, that's a long time ago. Los Angeles Chargers. And otherwise, he was pretty good, pretty stout. Had, of course, the sack and everything. And then this game, he was, doing again what he does, attacking the ball carrier, tackling. Dude. Like Cooper
he just diagnoses plays so fast.
It's just
that screenplay. He almost caught the pass.
Yeah,
like he's a missile, and I love it.
And I think too, like, I look at this defense, and like last year they played well, and of course you had guys like Milton walk, and you had Josh Sweat leave, and you had Slay leave, you had GJ leave. But I think when you're taking a look at this defense, and I'll give a ton of credit to Marcus Epps. He stepped in and he's been, admirable what he's been doing, which is great to see, because you needed someone in there, a veteran, that could be able to, not basically, you don't notice him in terms of his name being called, but that's because he's doing his job and he's doing what he needs to be done. And like you have Nakobe and Bond.
And when you do notice Epps, it's because he's laying the wood, dude.
Yeah.
He's coming up and hitting out. I tweeted this out on Sunday, and I really agree with this, and it seems like a lot of other people did too. Marcus Epps is who they wanted Sidney Brown to be.
Yeah.
He's violent. He's fast to diagnose. He can play coverage. He's just solid, and he plays under control. He probably hits just as well as Sidney does, but he does it with control and with intent.
And again, that's why he got a contract with the Raiders after he left in 2022. Yeah. And like that's the thing too, is in 2022, when they switch over and, go to 2023 and they lose all these guys on defense and then try to replace them, and they don't fully replace them. Plus, of course, the defensive coordinator debacle that you had and everything. The stability at defensive coordinator helps, of course.
Oh, yeah.
You have the biggest thing, too, I think, is Ojomo has taken that Milton Williams role and, to me, has exceeded it. I will give Byron Young, like, I was a little hesitant just because him playing a lot of snaps. He's filled in pretty admirably what he's asked to do. I love BG going in there and playing. He only played 8 snaps, but they were snaps that you saw him on the field. And that's all he needs, 8 to 10 snaps. That's totally fine.
Did you see his snaps, by the way?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
8 snaps, and they were it was 2 sacks, 3 incompletions, an interception. Like, it was just every play that he was in was a negative play for them.
And it's, I think he's starting also to get kind of his legs under him. He's had a number of weeks here, getting himself into game shape, doing everything that he needs to do.
He's also always excelled in that, like, 4-eye, 3-tech type of role, right? I mean, like, one of the most important plays in Eagles history, and certainly the most important play in his career, on that strip sack on Brady in Super Bowl 52 came from that same alignment. Like he's used to rushing from the interior, that like NASCAR package.
Yeah.
And really because of the addition of Jalen Phillips, that allows him to play in that role. And I'm interested to see once Jalen Carter comes back, I think you have to keep Brandon Graham in that role. Like I think he has to be your like nickel D tackle, or at least one of them, like a rotation.
I think you're right too, because I think what needs to happen, like all he needs to play is 8 to 10 snaps. Like you're not asking him to play half the game. And the thing about it is, does that cut into maybe a couple of reps, 5 to 7 snaps for Byron Young? Okay, then it does. But the other thing too is when you watch this defense, Jalex Hunt is another year older, and it seems like he's getting better and better. Nolan Smith seems to finally be getting healthy because you're starting to notice him a little bit more.
3 sacks in 6 games for Smith.
Cooper and Quignon are a year older and look even better than last year. Like when Cooper gets his hands on you, you're not getting away. His tackling is unreal. Like the one tackle he had on Genty cut to the outside, he wrapped him up, and there was nobody else for at least another 7 to 10 yards. And he wrapped him up, and he wasn't going anywhere. Yeah. And I will give a ton of credit to Adoree Jackson because he has been playing really, really well. He knows the challenge every week because they're going to go his way. Yeah. They're not going to test Quignon. They're going to test him on whoever is on him. So, he's taken that challenge. And I was listening to his post game with the radio station on last night, and just like how humble he is, and just how he talks about it, how he starting like more comfortable with the defense, with the guys, where they're going to be, all that kind of stuff. Like that matters when you're playing in a new place and you're trying to get yourself into position where you need to be. And just he's really taken that step, and it's great to see him be able to do that.
It's interesting that like when you say that, we saw something similar from Ronald Darby when he came here in the trade. The year we won Super Bowl 52. Like I remember he was getting
I'll throw another guy out there for you.
Patrick Robinson.
Yes.
I mean, but like that's a little different because they switched his position and they were like, you suck on the outside. Let's see how you can do in the nickel. But same concept. Like once he got comfortable, it made a huge difference to our team, similar to what DeJean was last year, right? But like I remember Darby was getting torched, and we were like, dude, really? Like he's going to be our starting outside corner. And then he, no pun intended, turned the corner and became pretty serviceable player that year. But let me give you some stats. We were talking about how these young guys are stepping up and how they are making a difference. Let's start with Quinyon Mitchell. He is the only NFL cornerback with 500 plus coverage snaps and 0 touchdowns allowed. He also has the lowest passer rating allowed in the NFL.
Wow.
On the other side of things, and we talk about this a lot, about the symbiotic relationship between the secondary and the pass rush. We were just talking about how the pass rush is heating up. Baldy had a similar post today. 19 players have recorded 50-plus total pressures this season. Only one player has recorded 50-plus total pressures in less than 350 pass rush snaps. Do you know who that is?
Less than 350 pass rush. Is that Jalen
or more? Yep. Jalen Hunt has 50 pressures in 303 pass rush snaps. He has a pressure rate of almost 20%.
I want to give you this too. Thinking about BG playing inside, that forward technique, like that 4-eye, like you talking about that. One thing I do say with BG, and he's good at it, coming off of the guy, like he can sense, and like you notice it with the Eagles rushers, they'll rush and they push that guy upfield, and we saw it a lot against Bo Nix. Bo Nix was able to get upfield. All these guys are able, some of these guys, Jackson Dart, go upfield. But the thing with like BG is he comes off his guy so quickly and he attaches himself.
Yeah.
And I think another thing too is, when these guys are healthy, and I think that's another thing I want to see. I want to see Jalen Carter actually healthy, because to me, he's been struggling with the shoulder injury
100%.
for probably first couple weeks of the season.
6 weeks.
So, I'm not sure when he's going to come back, or if he's going to come back this season, if it's going to wait till the playoffs, maybe. I don't know that, but we'll see. Maybe in a couple weeks, maybe the last year.
Right? I think it depends. Like, if we lock up the division and we can do no better than the 3 seed, they might just sit him and say, let's get healthy for the playoffs.
If come week 18 comes and the game against Washington, and they can't get any better than the 3 seed, they can't get the 2 seed or the 1 seed, and they're just stuck in the 3 seed, Tanner McKee is going to start. We know that. We know all the backups are going to play. And that's what it's going to be, which, that's fine. Gives Tanner McKee more reps to be able to put on film for potential offseason. That's going to be interesting. But no, it's just, I think like when you look at this team all together, and again, I know who you're playing. I get that. We understand that. We understand who's coming in the next couple of weeks when you have Washington, a beat up Washington team, 2 out of the next 3 weeks.
Without Jaden Daniels, by the way.
Without Jaden Daniels, who's been shut down for the rest of the season. But again, it's a divisional game. You can't take it lightly. You never can take it lightly. You
have the Bills. You have the Bills who are fighting for the their division. So like they're not going to just lay down.
Yeah. But like I think too, in like looking at this offense and this team, and
Go
again,
Birds, by the way.
Yeah, go Birds. But I just think like looking at it as a whole, the way that they are structured and the way the last 2 weeks is going could be something that them starting to put a little bit more emphasis on doing some things differently. And again, is it more of a comfortability aspect of the players, the quarterback? I don't know that. But I do see the last couple of weeks some of the similarities to like the 2022 aspect of, some of the things and how they're run. And, I'm interested to see how it is going forward and what they do. I'd love to start to see the run game start to get going. And it's not even get going. Like the biggest thing, and it's been said for years, it's stay ahead of the chains. Get 2-3 yards. If that's all you're getting, that's fine. Because if you get 2-3 yards and then you get 2-3 yards, then it's 3rd and manageable and not 3rd and 8, 9. Then we're in a whole different ball game. It's just stay ahead of themselves. And I just think, if they're able to do that, it's going to bode very tough for defenses, because I believe they're just going to keep the chains moving and have that clock chewing and keep that clock chewing. But I would like to see, I like to see Saquon, what he's doing, but I would like to see that change up of, Tank Bigsby in there. I'd love to see, like we saw, I believe it was the Devontae play where Shipley ran in motion and then they went to Devontae deep. I want to see differences in different personnel in there and different guys.
They were lined up. They were lined up in a pony on that Shipley play, which I loved. No, I agree. And two of the things we talked about after the Chargers game were like we weren't as concerned about the turnovers because again they were fluky. We were more concerned about the penalties and how that was killing drives and negating big plays.
They had 4 penalties.
3 for 35. 3 for 35, one of which was a pass interference. Right.
That was wasn't that the Cooper DeJean?
Well, one of them was a pass interference on Quinyon Mitchell, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But we negated. We did not negate any big plays with penalties. We won the time of possession, and the other big thing that we talked about last week was the defense only played 42 snaps.
Yeah.
They were playing 75, 82,
that was one of the quickest games too. One of the quickest 1 o'clock games.
It was the fastest game. I think they said it was the fastest game like this
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Which is good because it was cold and really cold and windy. So
yeah. But it's just nice. Like, it just further goes to kind of what we were talking about. What we've been saying for weeks is like the play calling wasn't terrific. The sequencing was suspect. The choice of personnel was dog shit. But we felt it was the penalties and the lack of discipline and the execution that was really the nail in our tire, right? Whatever. I don't know what
The
metaphor you
inconvenience
want to use.
of it just seemed like anytime they got
That's
stuff
what was
going,
keeping us down, right? That's what was keeping the offense from, and the defense in general, but mainly the offense from thriving. And we cut that down, and we saw the result. So,
but it shows you this though. They turned the ball over. All right, 4 interceptions. I know that double fumble comes into play to make it 5 turnovers, but just say the 4 interceptions, or the 5 turnovers on Monday night.
Yeah.
They still had the opportunity
to win the game.
Win the game.
Yeah.
Now I know on their side of the ball they had 2 turnovers, so they got 2 turnovers back. Or no, 3 turnovers, but 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Whatever. 2. They got something back, but still they had the opportunity to win the ball game. Yeah. So it shows you, like they're there. They're still the team that we think they are. It's just if they can cut. Big thing is if they can cut the penalties.
Yeah.
Then because like you get to the point where they have a nice big play and you're like, okay, well, where's the flag for something? Because it's just like this is the way that the cookie's been crumbling. If you want to,
for sure,
put that out. But it's just. If they can cut the penalties and to be able to sustain drives, do what they're doing, start to get the run game going. Listen, the run game isn't gonna be like last year. Last year, I think, was an anomaly because of all the huge runs they had. But the case in point of it is, if you're able to get little yards by little yards by little yards, there is a potential to break one.
Yeah,
and. The biggest thing is if they're going from under center. I think another thing with the offense is if they're going from under center, they're doing play action out of there. They're doing some different things out of there. They're starting to run a little bit of RPO. It's throwing defenses off a tiny bit. That split second, that millisecond can make such the biggest difference.
But we've been saying it for weeks, and that's the reason we were so successful this year or last year and in 2022 is like Jalen Hurts and just mobile quarterbacks in general, but especially Jalen Hurts, is so good at making you make a choice as a defense. And at times they were so good at making you make a choice. And regardless of what choice you were going to make, it was the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we saw a little bit of this week is they put the defense in this position where they have to pick their poison. And they picked to stop the run game at one point, and they got destroyed by Goddard and AJ and Devontae. So I love it. I loved what I saw. Again, there was a reason I was optimistic after that Chargers game. I thought maybe I was going to eat crow on that one, but I'm glad that they rewarded us with a big win. And again, I hope I'm not blinded by the fact that it's the Raiders, but there was enough positive shit, and you're still hanging 30 points on an NFL team.
Yeah.
And blanking an NFL team, which is not easy to do regardless of who you're playing.
No, it's not. And you did what you should have done. We wanted an easy win. I wanted a nice sit back, enjoy a game victory, and that's what we got. And I'm totally fine with that. I don't care, because the thing is, if you would have won 17-13, there would have been big time issues and problems because, oh my God, you only beat a 2-11 team by 4 points. Like there would have been problems. So for me, I'm happy with what we saw. Now let's move on to the Commanders. It's going to be a Saturday night, 5 p.m. So it's going to be a short week. So let's see if Lane Johnson plays. Let's see in terms of health of the players and, go from there. But
I'd be shocked if any of those guys play, especially with Jaden Daniels not suiting up.
In terms of,
I
You mean
I
like
wouldn't be
Lane?
surprised if they sit Lane and
Yeah, I don't think
JC and any of
so.
those guys.
My thing is, I believe Lane and JC. Lane definitely back on the Buffalo game.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they have him back, rush him back for this week. In Jalen, like I said, Carter may not go until, the playoffs.
which I'm fine with. Yeah.
So, which I'm fine with as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where everything lands. We're going to be back this week, talk about the matchup. We're going to break it all down. But we want to thank everyone for joining us. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe buttons. Everything is at the bottom there. If you have any type of questions or anything like that, always hit our messages. We're always available. But we appreciate everyone who tune in, and we always end it with a very happy and joyful "Go Birds!"
Go Birds!
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey, Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, a.k.a. Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.